Chris, you better wait here. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
10 minutes is a long time to be away from.
Yes, 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 ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to Kicking It with the Joneses, and we are live on Radio Free Brooklyn, and it's your boy Free Louis V. I'm filling in for Queen T and D Stacks on this Tuesday edition of Kicking It with the Joneses. I want to give them a shout out for allowing me to take over their show once again. Super duper grateful for that. With that being said, we got a very special guest in the building. He's no stranger to Radio Free Brooklyn. My guy Kev The Pope. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, man? What's going on? It's my second time here for the year.
Yes, sir. Second
perfect,
time, man. And listen, I need to borrow a couple of hours out of your day. Because the normal people, we got 24 hours.
Yeah.
But it seems like you got like 30. Because you've been running around, traveling, working nonstop, putting out records. You got all types of vlogs going on. Like,
yeah.
You got a lot going on right now. Man, when was the last time you got a good night's sleep? That's the question I want to start with.
Yo, that's a good question because, to tell you the truth, I did a show Saturday in Rhode Island to, like, close off the tour.
Yeah. And
straight from that, because the crazy thing about it, I went to Rhode Island on the bus, which was 3 hours and a half. So I did the show. I got back on the bus for another 3 hours and a half, and then from there I went to the studio.
Yeah.
Not too far from this location. I went to the studio and I was in the studio till about like 3 in the morning.
My God.
Went back home to finish editing the video for Pope Sunday.
Yeah.
Which dropped at like 12 p.m. So I stayed up till like 12 p.m. to make sure everything was like on point. Pretty much, I would say like I get a little power naps here and there. You know, little 30, 40 minute naps. You know, or like whenever my body is like really, really tired. And it shuts down to the point where I'm not even noticed that I'm falling asleep. That's when I'll probably sleep, you know.
That's like the first sacrifice you make. when you grinding,
yeah.
Like the first thing you give up is sleep.
Yeah, sleep, definitely.
That's the first thing you give up.
Yeah, because basically when you sleep and all you're doing is dreaming, and you want to make that dream a reality.
Exactly.
So you know you gotta be awake and living and doing things.
Right. Exactly, man. So you talked about the tour a little bit. You just came off. You're fresh off tour right now,
fresh
man.
off the tour.
Like, how many cities? Like, how many shows did you do, man?
I stopped in Philly. I did a show in Philly. Well, actually, I went to Philly, and on the way there, it got canceled. So that was like a big, like shutdown.
Yeah.
Then I went to Arizona. Arizona was pretty dope. Shout out to the people out in Arizona, RTU, Respect the Underground. And I'm going to be back out there in November for Arizona Hip Hop Festival. Yeah. So I'm going to go back on tour again, and put that a part of my tour. I stopped in Los Angeles. Then I went out to Atlanta. Then after Atlanta, I came back to New York for like a couple days, and then I went out to Rhode Island to close it out. And then I would say that was pretty much to end my tour, because the next following show I have is not till July. I didn't book any more shows until July, which I'm going to be at the 2x2 Festival in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah. So
I'm going to be out there doing that. Then, I wouldn't be doing too much shows. I would be getting back to the music, because I want to drop this project that I've been working on called Where I Came From Part 2. Right. The EP. So that's where Sucka came from, the new single. So I'm pushing that for the rest of the summer, and then you're going to get the project at the end of the summer. Then, back on tour. I'm going to go back on tour. Yeah. My year's pretty booked up so far.
That's how you want it to be, though. Like, you want to be able to look at your calendar and just know, like, man, I got 4 or 5 things lined up for July. I got 3 or 4 things lined up for August. Like, that's how you want it to be. And that's a good sign that the work that you're putting into this career, into this craft, is all paying off. So, like, this was your first tour, right?
Yeah, first ever one.
Man, tell me, like, some of the, I want to talk about some of the ups and some of the downs, and just what are some of the things you learned on this first time going on tour? all
right. The first thing I learned is I learned to be much of a people person, and I start to realize, like, you gotta, like, not think of yourself and think of others, because there's people who actually like your music and respect what you do, right? And there's people who actually look up to you, because I'm just like, not actually seeing the people physically, but being on the internet and seeing, people giving you comments and such and such. It's like, all right, cool. But when you actually go out there and see people showing you love and, like, actually listening to your music and repeating the words,
different beats, right?
Yeah, it makes you feel good. It's like, damn, I'm actually doing something right. It makes me feel good. Like, I can do this every day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the thing about what I learned is, like, you can't wait for New York to put you on. You gotta go to these places and put New York on.
Yeah.
So that's what I said I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go Arizona. I'm gonna go Philadelphia and such, and I'm gonna make people hear about me instead of, you know, waiting for people to hear about me.
Yeah, and it's crazy that you said that. I had an artist on my show like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that's what they were talking about. They were saying like New York is not a place like. You're from New York, like I'm from New York, so you know how we are, man. We ain't jumping on no bandwagon.
Yeah, definitely.
We ain't dick riding, so to speak. Like we might see somebody, you know, putting in work, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna keep an eye on you.
Everybody's a rapper out here.
And that's the thing too.
So
it's a little oversaturated, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So like I went out to places like Arizona. Arizona don't have a big mainstream rapper.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went out there, it was like pure love. You know, when I went out to Icon Radio. And as soon as I got out there, you know, they was just showing me love. You know, they was like, "Yo, here's some weed." You know, they had me smoking in the studio and everything, in the radio station. Had me smoking in there. They blessed me with a bunch of snacks.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, shout out to Late Night Chaos. He was the DJ there.
Yeah.
And he invited me to Jaguars, the strip club. He played my music. He gave me and my brother a bunch of ones to throw in the club. It was just a bunch of love. Yeah, it was a bunch of love, and they invited me back to Arizona Hip Hop Festival, where I'm gonna be at in November 16th and 17th.
You want a kid. You're listening to Kicking It with the Joneses, and it's your boy Free Louis V. I'm filling in for Queen T and D Stacks on this Tuesday edition of Kicking It with the Joneses, and we got a very special guest in the building. My guy Kev The Pope decided to come through, fresh off a tour. That new single Sucka, we just heard that before we heard this last joint. And you got a couple things going on right now, and that's what I want to get into in this second half of the show. First of all, the Pope Sundays, the vlog that you put out every week, right?
Yeah.
What made you decide to do that? How did that come about? What was the thought process? Just let me know right now, like, what is the purpose of the Pope Sundays?
Well, Pope Sundays, it actually, you know what's crazy? It actually became a thought on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, yo, I have a new single out, but you gotta continue to put out more content. Like people just don't want to hear one song; they want to, see more of you. So I was like, you know what? I just came off. I'm on tour. I got a lot of footage here. Let me put a lot of this stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of music tucked in, that I haven't put out yet. So I'm, put that out. So every Sunday I was like, you know what? From 12 p.m. I'm gonna just give people new content. If it's a vlog, a freestyle, or a new song, just anything, just to keep people in tune and keep people ears open to like what's new. While I'm working on while I'm on tour, or like while I'm working on a new video, or I'm just working on a new project, just keep people in tune, to what I'm doing while I'm working on, what I'm working on.
Yeah.
And Pope Sunday is just strictly for the summer. So once the summer's done, I'll probably like get into something else. Vlogs, and even with the vlogs, people like, yo, we want to see more. I like the whole personal side of you, behind the music. People actually get to see like what you're really about, and they can relate to you even more. They're like, damn, I do the same thing he do. I go places he go. I never noticed that he does this or he went there. Yeah. So and it opens people's eyes up to like just more than just the music. You know what I'm saying? So Pope Sundays, that's something. It was just a thought overnight, and I just like, you know what? Let me just do it tomorrow, and it just happened. Yeah,
and those are always the best things, right? Where you just kind of think of it in like a split second, and then you just realize that you just got to do it. And I feel like a lot of times, we tend to overthink things.
Yeah.
We tend to be like, all right, well, if I'm gonna do it, it gotta be perfect. It has to be done this way. Sometimes you just gotta start putting this shit out.
Cause nothing ever really goes as planned.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I might be like, I'm gonna do it at this time, but it just don't happen at that time. So I just be going for shit, man. Sometimes I risk it all, cause there's been plenty times I failed, and I never asked like why or like why me. I just be like, all right, you know, this is a lesson learned. This is what I won't do the next time I decide to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
Because I never ask why anymore, you know? Because everything happens for a reason, or it's just never meant to be. You know what I'm saying? I never ask why. So I started to take like why and like can't on my vocabulary.
Right,
Cause
absolutely.
Like once you start thinking about feeling, it already, like you already feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't even think about feeling. Like if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You know, if it do, then you know it works. You know, let's just keep going.
Yeah.
You know, so that's just my mindset. You know, from here on out, and even before, like you know, I was always hesitant to put out music, or just nervous of how people was gonna feel about it. And then you know, put out music, and then people actually love the shit.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I'm saying?
Just put it out.
Yeah, like Sucka's. I made Sucka June last year, 2018, and I didn't really put out the record till May this year, and I was holding on to the record for so long because I'm thinking like, damn, I made this record months ago, and I'm making new music. You know, are people still gonna want to hear this? Are people still gonna like this?
Right, exactly.
And I'm like, you know what? I like this shit. You know.
But the thing about the record Sucka, right? It's just like there's no expiration date on having to deal with sucker ass motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like you can put that record out. You could have put it out when you made it. You could have put it out this year. You could have put it out next year. It would have still been relevant because, in all walks of life, we all have to deal with sucker ass niggas. Like you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there was no wrong time for that record.
Yeah, and that's what I learned too. Like. I stopped hesitating and just like, yo, just go with it.
Again, Bruce, you better wait here. I'll be back 10 minutes.
That blitz is along. I could be away from it.
We don't hang with suckers, don't consuck shit.